another episode of What's Happening at NCI. I'm your host, Olivia Garrett, and today we have a special guest with us, Latoshua LeGrant. She is the new Chief Information Officer at NCI. Welcome, Latoshua.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Great. Well, we're excited to have you here. Before we jump into things, we always like to introduce our guests, learn a bit about who they are. So I know that you're from Martinsville. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about growing up in Martinsville, where you graduated from, all that?
Absolutely. So as you said, I was born and raised here in Martinsville, Virginia. I graduated from Martinsville High School. Go Bulldogs. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. And so after I graduated high school, I went on to obtain my Bachelor's of Science degree at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte. And graduated early, thanks for the great preparation here in Martinsville. So I was ahead of the game. And I went on to pursue my career journey in the RTP, or Research Triangle Park, Raleigh-Durham area.
Oh, nice.
And was there for about 26 years. Like I said, graduated early, went on to work in the IT field. So I worked for IBM, for Cisco, spent some time in the North Carolina Division of Health and Human Services. There's a MES implementation, Medicaid Enterprise System. It's an IT project.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
Well, not for those who are familiar with the space, but it's still some decent work and fulfilling work. So spent some time there. But I guess I'm probably not your typical, what people may consider a typical CIO. I spent 10 years in healthcare. Mind blown.
Right.
So 10 years in healthcare was some of the most fulfilling work for me.
Wow.
Because I spent a lot of my career focused on hardware, software, networking, like understanding the ins and outs of technology, and how things work. But for 10 years, I got to spend time in understanding how humans work, like the whole space of human factor science and understanding like how humans work with our systems and processes. But then I got to also experience and learn about organizational culture, the importance of teamwork and communication. And not only did I learn about it, but I developed programs in the space. I taught in the space and got to coach healthcare organizations in North Carolina on those topics. And so I think that makes me a unique CIO. Very fulfilling.
Well-rounded.
Yes. And it helps me with all of the strategic planning and operational things and working with the team now. So that's who I am in a quick and dirty 2 minutes.
Well, and that's awesome. And I know you also are, involved in the community. I know you just recently came baake to Martinsville, but you're involved with the AKAs, right?
Yes, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Our local chapter here is Kappa Delta Omega, so I'm a member there. Parliamentarian, engaged in the community. So yes, definitely happy to be back.
That's great. And you've talked a little bit, one-on-one with me about your family and how I think it's one of your daughters has also gone down the technology kind of field in a creative way.
Yes, so I have 2 babies. They will always be my babies, but they're grown now. Both of them are science babies, and so the oldest is in animal science. That is her passion.
Wow.
And then my youngest, what's important to me is how this happened for her. So very STEM focused early on, very science driven, very data driven. But we put her in robotics, engineering camps throughout her entire childhood. I mean, she has Legos all over the place. She can solve a Rubik's Cube in like the 30-second thing. She can, build, gumball machines out of Legos, pinball machines out of Legos off of YouTube videos. Like this was happening in elementary and middle school. And so we just knew that she was going to be some type of engineer. And she surprised us, and she's used the creative side of things along with the engineering mindset. And so she is a student. She's about to graduate. She's a senior that's focused in animation.
That's so cool.
So she's more on the STEAM side, which we all need to be embracing. That's important to me. So she's stop motion animation producer in her capstone project. So we're really proud of her. So it's really fun as a parent who's in STEM
Yeah.
to have two children who go on the science route.
Yeah.
But then they're both so creative.
I'm
and
saying
so,
it's like also all three of y'all are in different paths within the
Yes.
same umbrella.
Exactly. And they've kind of helped trigger that for me too. Like, they came from me. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're creative and they have an artistic side, there must be something in me. So I've got some things I got going too. But yeah.
Using the creative side of your brain
Absolutely.
with the technology.
They work together well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and when you mentioned robotics, you have a connection to NSBE, right?
Yes. So the National Society for Black Engineers. Yes, unfortunately, I didn't get to participate in NSBE when I was in high school because it didn't exist when I was attending Martinsville High School. But a lot of the experience I had was with Miss Helen Howell. She was our technology teacher then, and kind of triggered all of that for a number of us. But my brother participated in NSBE.
Awesome.
He's 10 years younger than I am. Participated in NSBE, and so my mom was highly engaged in the space, and so yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well,
nice
like
to
so
support them.
full circle.
For sure. Yeah.
You're back in Martinsville working at NCI, and NSBE's housed right here
Yeah.
at NCI. So
Yes.
that's great. I love to see that, and they're doing well.
They are. Didn't they just win?
They did.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was more than one award that they got recently, I think down in Atlanta. So
Yes,
we'll have to get some more information about that. I know
Yes,
Erica's
that's
already
exciting.
shared a Facebook post, so you'll have to check us out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I just think that's so great, and we're very, very glad to have you at NCI with both your leadership and coaching expertise, but then also all of your wealth of technology understanding, and it's a good thing for NCI to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to cut to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to learn more about what's going on in both IT and innovation at NCI, as well as some of Latoshua's aspirations for the future with NCI. Thank you. Well, and we're back with what's happening at NCI. Today we have special guest with us, Latoshua LeGrant. She is NCI's new Chief Information Officer. Latoshua joined NCI, I think it was in the beginning of December 2024, so we've hit the kind of first quarter marker for Latoshua being with us, and she's hit the ground running. So Latoshua, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since joining the team.
Yeah, so first of all, joining the team has been great. Everyone has welcomed me with open arms, and it really feels like a family at NCI. And the reason why I say like a family, I mean, beyond everyone being nice, right?
Yeah.
It's a small group of us, but it feels like a family because everyone kind of pulls together, no matter the title, to get things done, to achieve our goal. And so I like that environment. I like to be a part of a team like that. So I want to start off by saying, like, it's great to be here because, I've been looking for something like that.
That's great. Yeah, no silos at NCI.
Definitely
all
no
hands
silos.
on deck.
All hands on deck. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about, like, some of that space that I've been in over the it's been 3 months. I cannot believe that. So some of what I've been up to is just kind of understanding the culture, like, understanding the current state, and figuring out where I fit into the team and how I can help. And so that's been good. Understanding the systems and the processes that we currently use. Also working with the IT department, with our team, building rapport, understanding where and assessing things that are working well. That's important to me because we want to keep doing those things. And then where there might be areas of opportunity, and not just within the IT department, within the organization as a whole.
Absolutely.
Some of the other things that have excited me because I'm only 3 months old, right?
Yeah,
so for the first 3 months, I have a hard time not volunteering for things.
Same.
So,
let me know when you figure out that trick.
I don't know. I'm in my age here, so I don't know if I figured that out yet. Hopefully one day I will. And it's not always a bad thing, right? You just got to keep some boundaries around it.
You've got a curious mind.
Yes, there's nothing
That's
wrong
my
with being
problem.
curious.
Yes.
So I'm on the policies and procedures team, so I am excited about that because throughout my career, whether it be in IT, healthcare, or whatever I've been doing. I've got a lot of project and program management experience as well. But process development was a big part of that, and the procedural development. So I'm on that policies and procedures team, and so that helps us out as an organization. But then also taking a deep dive into our IT policies and procedures, reviewing what exists.
Also gives you kind of good overview of everybody else's processes and how things are working as a new person. You know.
Absolutely, and that helps with that current state assessment to understand what people need, what the departments need, what systems are needed. And then there are spaces where, you know, IT procedures overlap into other policies and procedures within organizations. So that's been good.
Yeah, I know we've had plenty of those little conversations here that are talking about like the website and management systems.
The event management system. Yes, we will get there, Olivia.
We will.
Other things, employee engagement team. So they've welcomed me onto that team. That excites me too, because remember I spent some time in organizational culture and effective communication and teamwork. And so to be able to be a part of what makes us tick at NCI is fun. That's a great team too. Recently, I became a board member of the Southern Piedmont Technology Council.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
That's exciting. It is awesome. One of the things that's really important to me is understanding community needs, but then this gives me an opportunity to also be engaged at a regional level.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was recent. And then participating in the STEM nights, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so there's been a number of STEM nights that have come through our K-12 programming. And so it's been nice to attend those, help out where I can as I'm getting to know things, but to see the elementary students interact with all the technology and their eyes light up about, you know, robotics and engineering.
Yeah.
But then, you know, to also hear from the parents and the siblings that may come in.
Right.
And, you know, I've heard students say, oh, like, this is like my robotics club at school. You have a robotics club in elementary school? Like, where was that when I was in elementary school?
Right.
So that's amazing. But those also present an opportunity to learn from the community. Like we're hearing from the parents, not only what their students may need, but they're asking us, like, what else does NCI have to offer? And we're able to understand from them, well, what do you need? What can we bring through here so that it's within your reach? So, yeah, so the first 3 months have been really great.
Well, that's awesome. And I always like, you know, the kind of subject and theme of IT and innovation, because it is all those levels that you said. It's like the community engagement. It's also the practical, like making things work and ensuring they work when they're supposed to work. And then there's also,
you need them most.
like the thought leadership, like being on the board of the Southern Piedmont Technology Council.
Yes.
Yeah, got those mixed up. But you know, it's like those are all the different levels, and you've just jumped right into all of them.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
like I said, I have a hard time not volunteering for things.
Well, you just want to know your surroundings and see where you're going to fit in and be the most helpful. I think that's good. Well, so you know, thinking about like the next 3 months and beyond, what are some of your aspirations for NCI in terms of your areas of expertise?
So you know, the assessment will continue, and I think it's important to have some type of process where there's, you know, continuous assessment for process improvement needs. But you know, coming in, a big part of being new somewhere is that current state analysis, and so, you know, over the next 3 months or so, I'll be moving from the current state analysis to more strategizing and developing implementation plans. In the spaces where, as an organization, we talked about, you know, event management system, learning management system, keeping the things that are working well for sure, but if there are, and where there are areas to improve, I'll begin to strategize out that way. We've definitely got some things going on around inventory assessment, and, you know, all the things operational within NCI. So all that's coming up over the next 3 months. Built a really good bond with a great group of people in the IT department with our team. So we've got some good things coming out of the shop there. I'm looking forward to it. And we're building at the same time. So that's good. The other things that I'm looking forward to over the next 3 months and for future is I come back to local community engagement, regional community engagement, and learning more about what the community needs in the space of technology, and figuring out ways to partner and collaborate with our departments with our vision within NCI. So workforce development, our K-12 program, our life program, where technology, the emerging technologies fit in that space. So it's not just CIO working on the infrastructure of NCI, but it is, okay, well, how do we touch the community from a technology perspective based on what their needs are? And it could be anywhere from artificial intelligence, machine learning, to cybersecurity. And I think it's really important not just to focus on the K-12 program, because we all should be learning. We should be life learners, and that's what I like about our life program.
Oh, yeah.
And so just understanding more about what the community needs in that space, and hopefully creating some programs with the other departments.
Well, that's awesome, especially because technology moves so fast.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're just like an average person, the next thing you know, there's all new social media accounts, websites have changed again. You know,
your phone has changed.
Your phone's changed. You never know. And so I think that's great for us to stay ahead of that curve and help and listen to the community however.
Absolutely. And use the features and the technology that's already available to us. A lot of us don't know what we already have access to and how to use that appropriately.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on our show today to share about your vision for IT and innovation at NCI and how you're such a great asset and super smart, and we're glad to have you.
Well, I'm glad you think I'm smart.
I do. But awesome. Well, we're going to cut to our next commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss some upcoming events at NCI. Thank you. Welcome back to What's Happening at NCI. I'm Olivia Garrett, and we have with us today our new CIO at NCI, Latoshua LeGrant. Latoshua, we're so glad that we have had you on the show today.
This has been fun. Thanks.
Great. Well, before we wrap up, we always like to share our upcoming events. So are there any on your radar that you want to share with the community?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are. So, of course, I mentioned the STEM nights, the elementary STEM nights from previous months. So I'm looking forward to a number of those coming up in March. And then the drone event, a K-12 program drone event is coming up in April, so I'm looking forward to that. That's on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
Yes. And then there are a few other things that are community-based that I'm excited about, so hopefully it's okay to share.
Go right ahead.
One of the things that I've tapped into while back home here in Virginia is there's a program through Virginia Tech called Women Impact Virginia.
Oh, yes.
And basically they offer a series of virtual events, and they have a summit each year. So I attended one last month. The speaker was Natalie Hodge, Natalie Hodge Davis from our community.
Yes, yes.
And her segment was on there's levels to this, and there's like 4 levels. I'm sure there's a recording of it, but that was amazing. But they have a virtual event coming up on March 21st at 10 a.m. and like 30-minute segments. And their mission is to, help advance women leaders in the community. So, so that one, March 21st at 10 a.m. It's Embracing Opportunity, a journey of strength, growth, and giving back.
Oh,
so that's a virtual event. If people want to find out more about that and register, there's a Facebook page for Women of Impact. Women Impact Virginia, and then you can go to outreach.vt, like for Virginia Tech, .edu/engagement. If you look up the Newport News unit, then the Women Impact Virginia is out there. And then, not to take up all your time, Olivia, there's an event through the Southern Piedmont Technology Council on March 25th. And that one is also a virtual event. It's from 12 to 1, but this one's really cool. It's the ins and outs of programming and coding.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so tap into that. I think it's about $5 for non-members.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all. And so if you go to the SPTC, that stands for Southern Piedmont Technology Council, SPTC-VA.org, and look at the events calendar. You can register that way.
Awesome.
And last but definitely not least, as we talked about earlier on, I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and our Kappa Delta Omega chapter. We have a 2025 scholarship program, and that application is open right now.
That's good to know.
Absolutely. So it's open to seniors in Martinsville, Henry County, and the Rockingham County schools. Okay, good. So those applications are already at your guidance counselor's offices. So if you're interested, go pick those up. But the deadline is this Saturday, so get there fast.
So we got to hustle. Yep.
And that was all. That's what I'm looking forward to over the next month or so.
Those are great events. Otherwise, the next couple weeks at NCI, we have our after-school programs continuing. KidWind is meeting on Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you have an elementary or middle school student, please visit our website, newcollegeinstitute.org, to sign up. We're also in the middle of our 2025 season for the first robotics team. We had Trevor Martin, who manages that program, on here a while back. They're doing very well this season. They were champions of the Blue Ridge Brawl in the fall, and they have a couple other competitions coming up this spring. So if you have a high school age child who's interested, you can also learn more on our website. March overall is a very, very busy month for the lecture hall rentals. As Latoshua mentioned, we have a number of upcoming STEM nights. Drury Mason Elementary is on the 13th, Meadowview is on the 18th, and Stanleytown on the 25th. And we love partnering with all of our elementary schools for these STEM events, and some of the gadgets that you see at the STEM nights are available through our EduTech library, so teachers, school administrators can engage with us to get those in their classroom. On March 14th, the Hope Homeschool Formal is taking place. Then on the 15th, Magna Vista is having their military school ball, so we're getting into the prom and event seasons. Following that, the Martinsville-Henry County Tourism Collaborative, they are hosting through Visit Martinsville at NCI on March 20th. A number of NCI programs. We have our Next Life course, which is an introduction to sign language. That one has been incredibly popular. We have a big waiting list, but if you're still interested, let us know, because that'll help us gauge the demand for more programs like that. And we're also doing our basic safety training with sea survival for our wind industry trainings. That's starting March 17th. Certified fiber optic technician training is also that week of the 17th. And then rounding out the month, we have on March 22nd our Next Life class, which is all about glass etching and has also been very popular. So we've got a big month of March coming up, and it'll only continue to get busier as we head into the nice pretty seasons, and everybody will want to be out and about.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, Latoshua, for joining us today. Do you have any final words before we wrap up?
I just want to say thanks for having me. This has been a blast. And reach out to us, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know the proper channels, Olivia. I'm sure that you could say that.
I'll plug them in.
Yeah, but reach out to us. Let us know what you need from a technology perspective in the community, because I'm really interested in helping build programs around that in partnership with the other areas within NCI.
Yeah, absolutely. Community input is how we build great programs that people want to be at.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you to everybody for tuning in once again for our latest episode of What's Happening at NCI. As always, you can visit our website, newcollegeinstitute.org, for more information on all of our programs and events. You can also visit us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, at New College Institute. Encourage you to like, follow, share, all of the things. And we will see you next time on What's Happening at NCI. Thanks.